Hey everyone, this is part 2 of our shock meter episode. Today we're going to talk about the most shocking transfers in the UAP. Let's get started. What's up everyone? Sorry, na-mute ko yung sarili ko. What's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Santo, Gablim, and Mr. Maui. I'm sorry sabaw na guys, we're doing back-to-back recordings. Just talked about that Luka-AD trade. If you haven't seen that episode, please watch that episode. Para naman ma-process nating lahat. In this segment, we're going to talk about the most shocking UAAP transfers. So we're talking about transfers of players or personnel among UAAP teams. So UAAP to UAAP, pwedeng college to college or from high school to another college. We'll list down 3 and then we'll mention some of our honorable mentions. Let's go round robin. Let's start with you, Sultan of Sando.
Well, this is a very obvious choice for me for the most shocking transfer in the UAP history. We're putting high school to college, so transfer.
Yes, transfers.
Okay, so college to college, so high school to college. We're including in this.
And,
we're not including
and by the way,
from the NCAA.
Yeah, correct. And by the way, hindi namin mako-cover yung like the entire history of the UAAP kasi hindi naman namin maalam or maaalala yung mga nangyari in the past. So, probably like the most recent ones or the ones that we do remember.
23rd century man lang.
Yun, sige.
Nga naman. So, yeah, the most shocking for me in the UAAP, and a lot of our examples are gonna be pretty recent, I think, because it is a pretty recent trend that star players are transferring to other schools. This was not happening in the past, except for maybe si BJ Manalo from Ateneo High School yung going to Salle. But the most shocking for me was definitely, you mentioned Amos going to Salle. That is top tier on my list of of what happened to Luka-AD. Like, holy shit! Mason transfer. Now, just as a caveat for this, or a disclaimer, the Boleros, us three, did get a wind of this transfer when Mason Amos guest on this podcast. And right after, we talked to Mason Amos, and he did give us some tidbits here and there that, yes, he is looking to go where things don't work out, blah, 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 blah. He did tell us that. So, maybe yun yung pagbawas ng shock factor, but it was still shocking because he went
Hindi pa rin.
Masakit pa rin, di ba? Maybe some bias coming into this. Maybe a lot of bias is coming into this that he played for Ateneo. He was the supposed King Eagle for season 87, di ba? He was the apparent. Him and Jared Bahay were supposed to be 1-2 punch. He was supposed to take on a lot of usage, a lot of scoring, a lot of playmaking responsibilities on the Blue Eagles team. He was supposed to be the guy, Mason Amos, and he transferred to LaSalle. LaSalle. Of all the schools that you have possibly gone to, it was LaSalle, the green side. And we had to endure a ton of trash talk from the green side because of this throughout the season. We just, in our end of season awards, my award for crowd moment was LaSalle fans wearing the Mason Amos jersey in the arena just to troll the Ateneans. That's just some of the things that Ateneans had to go through because of this Mason Amos transfer. It's still shocking. Incredible. You don't see a star player from Ateneo, the King Eagle, going to transfer to its rival, the De La Salle Green Archers, and already stacked the De La Salle Green Archers at that. So it was a big blow to the Ateneo program. It's a big blow to me, to us here. We're all Ateneans here. It was a really big blow. We could Sabi nga ni Maui, kahit na medyo alam na namin, medyo ma-idea namin baka umalis si Mason, ang sakit pa rin na malaman na umalis si Mason Amos sa Ateneo. Even though we win, we were still talking about it, guys. Di ba sabi natin na I think my chance pa rin is gonna stay, meaning he has a ton of future in Ateneo. He's just a player already. The ball is gonna be in his hands, gonna take a lot of shots, and he's still transferred. It hurt. It's surprising. It's holy shit levels to me. That to me is ibang klase. Mason Amos and right after the hype that we got that he was going to Ateneo for his college years, diba? For seniors level, and then he goes to La Salle, and he had a picture with Mayor Zamora to put the cherry on top. Tarot may blooms out there. Grabe, may picture pa sila ni Mayor Zamora. He was happy. Then all the news broke up that he didn't even tell his teammates. He told Tab that he was staying. It wasn't true. He was leaving. And then he leaves. Grabe, the shock factor. It even contributed that his teammates were shocked. Well, his teammates were acting so vehemently to his departure. That contributed to the shock factor of Mason Amos leaving. I don't know about you guys, but that will forever be ingrained in my mind as a core memory that really, really hurts.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I had that Mason Amos to LaSalle transfer as one of my top picks then. I think kahit na may inkling, shocking pa rin because of the things that he also did nung off season, 'di ba? He was one of the main guys. One of the things that he said was one of the main guys who convinced Jared Bahay to go back to Ateneo and play with him, and they were looking forward to playing with each other. They were roommates. So that was surprising, and I think when he did the transfer, they just came back from like a trip from Australia or like a competition abroad. So that sort of added to the parang shock value na biglaan. They just came from a training together and then he transfers to LaSalle. And yun nga yung factor na he went to the rival, diba? But that really has to be one of the top ones out there, especially among the recent ones, Maui.
Yeah. Hindi pa rin ako makapaniwala. Kahit ano ba yun, 6
Hanggang ngayon, Maui.
Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ako makapaniwala.
Actually.
Diba? Even if we have all the signs, even if we were talking to him privately, even if I was talking to his dad privately, I never imagined him to leave. Not just transfer to LaSalle, but leave Ateneo at first, diba? And more so, I think it added additional blow, diba? That he decided to go to, of all teams, LaSalle. I thought that his option was potentially to go back to Australia if he didn't like to play for Ateneo, but not apparently. They decided to transfer to the arch rivals of the Eagles, which was LaSalle, diba? I think this is the big FU of the gods to Ateneo fans who were rooting for LaSalle to beat UP. Diba? Mason Amos deciding to go to LaSalle is still one of the most shocking news in UAAP history for me, since I've been watching the UAAP. Diba? Maybe this is what I've been saying this since before. Maybe this is what Ateneans felt when BJ Manalo committed to LaSalle. We were too young.
Masyado ba tayong bata nun?
Di kami ganun katanda. FYI lang, di kami ganun katanda to understand the magnitude of that move. But this move, we fully felt that. I fully felt that. I've been a big fan of Mason since he was playing for Gilas Pilipinas. Even tracking him down nung high school, nung may picture pa sila ni Coach Tab na kita mo, batang-bata pa si Amos when he decided to enroll in Ateneo High School. But that didn't work out because of COVID. But I would say this is one of the top things in my list. But in terms of overall impact, I would say, not just shock factor, but overall impact to a program, I would say yung move ni Ricci Rivero from LaSalle to UP is yung magnitude is not talked about enough.
I agree.
'Di ba? Kasi ito yung first move eh. Ito yung first mover. This is the first guy, the first star player to transfer from one school to UP. 'Di ba? This showed that UP is a prime destination for top talent. 'Di ba? Si Kobe Paras did not play here. So that's another story. The GDL brothers were already from UPIS. So that was to be expected. But Ricci Rivero committing to UP really opened a lot of doors for them, 'di ba? You could say si Cancino also played a big part, but this transfer really showed that they were in the game, that they were gonna be in the game, that they were gonna be in the recruiting wars, and that they were gonna be kings. They were gonna be kingmakers in the UAAP. This showed yung yung talent. I think yung talent ni Coach Bo to convince star players to play for a program like UP. Diba? It showed how he would be the perfect guy to be that general manager type for UP, diba? And it has shown that in the past few seasons we've seen a lot of players commit to UP. A lot of top players, diba? Even the top young recruits from the US like Baila, like QMB, diba? They've decided to play for this program. And I think if Ricci Rivera did not commit, despite them not winning that championship, it really opened a lot of doors. And I think it was their first final stint, diba? That lineup led by Ricci and the GDL brothers and Paras, diba? It really showed yung UP's commitment to becoming a top tier program in the UAAP, diba? It also showed that they have to get the top players.
Of course.
Diba? It also showed that they have the baggage, the bag to convince top players to play for their program. It's not talked about enough. I think yung si Ricci committing to UP. I think a lot of people just remember si Cancino. Diba? That top guy from another school committing to UP. But I would say monumental. Getting Bo Perasol was the first step. Getting Ricci Rivero was another big step for UP to show that they will be a big program.
I love that pick. I had that on my list din, Maui. And I think what makes Ricci Rivero different from the other guys is because he's already a champion. Nag-champion na siya sa Salle. He has that championship experience. UP made it to the finals, did not win, but that's what Ricci Rivero brought to the team. And I think when they won that championship, that finals, he was the vet there, and I think meron siya nung championship experience na pinangahawakan, and that sort of, for me, helped that team win that championship. Gab, your thoughts?
Yeah, I had this on my list, although much further down. We did have other UP transfers. I think people are seeing a trend here. There's a lot of UP transfers. There's a lot of transfers involving UP. And I had a few of them here on my list when I was brainstorming this. But yeah, the Ricci Rivero one is one that stands out also because, as Pawi said, this was essentially the first guy to transfer to UP from that was a big name. Now there were some extra circumstances or some surprising circumstances that he had in LaSalle that made him leave LaSalle. I just leave it at that. That made him go to UP. But he still went to UP. I mean, I think yung people were shocked that he chose UP as his destination. There was some rumor that he might go to UST, he might go to Ateneo, he might go elsewhere, might even NCAA because of the issues that were hounding him in LaSalle. But to choose UP made UP be on the map for, as Maui said, for other big names to go there.
Tama.
Now, he did win the championship. He did take kind of a backseat in his first season there because they had a ton of other guys there. Kobe Pass, the GDL brothers, yung Bright Akweti. So he did not put up the same numbers that he did when he was in LaSalle. And they lost in the finals. But again, he made the finals. I was there in the arena. Fans returned to the arena because they were in the finals. So that's a big thing for the UP community and for UP fans and the UP program that were able to get Ricci Rivero, and they were able to make the finals. He was the first of many. I'll name my honorable mentions later. Again, most of them are involving UP. Sammy, I want to hear yours.
You mentioned it. We're talking about a lot of UP guys. For me, the most shocking was Coach Gold, Carl Tamayo, and the rest of the NU boys, stars from the juniors team transferring to UP Fighting Maroons. Maui, I think the Ricci Rivero, I agree with you. Yung Ricci Rivero, yung move was the one that sort of started it all. And then you saw CJ Cancino join UP. And then I think this was... but the thing is, yung dalawang yon, Richie and CJ, there were certain circumstances involved, 'di ba? Na nabalitaan natin yung Boy Mantika, 'di ba? But the NU thing, done deal na yun, 'di ba? We were all expecting Coach Gold will be taking over as the coach of NU. I think he started out as he was already parang the coach of the NU team. All the NU guys were going to just transfer to their college team. That's how NU has built their teams in the past. And then out of nowhere, we're hearing rumblings na magiging coach na bigla si Coach Gold. Coach Bo Perasol will focus more on the management side, which is, sabi mo nga, Maui, his talent. And suddenly, this UP team was stacked. Imagine yung haul from that move. Number one, you get a great coach, a champion coach in Coach Gold. You get your main superstar in Carl Tamayo. You get the other guys like Jerry Abadiano, defensive specialist. Si Harold Alarcon was also part of that team. So that was a massive haul for UP. Parang kung isipin mo sa in NBA terms, 'di ba? Parang ilang starters 'yon or ilang mga first round picks na yung na-trade siguro for that haul. So for me, unprecedented din 'yun eh, na I don't think that's ever happened before, na yung coach and his players transferred to another UAAP team. And first outing pa lang nila, first season, championship. So they wouldn't have won that championship for sure if not everyone would have transferred.
I definitely agree, and we're seeing it. Go ahead, Maui. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just have to say something. There's a reaction on the coach to coach with players transfer. It's funny lang that's happening again to UP, but in another sport.
Volleyball. Oh, nga, sa volleyball.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. It's happening again. The coach from UE Lady Warriors are now going to UP. The coach na kalbo pupunta rin sa UP. So
coach na kalbo, nga, no? That's a good sign for UP. That's a good sign.
It's history repeating itself. But yeah, actually, Sam, this kind of went under the radar for me. No? I hear about it na Coach Bull was initially going to coach the NU Bulldogs. Then suddenly he's now going to UP and he's brought all of his players with him. Yeah, it was a bit shocking, but not as much, in my opinion, as the others that UP has pulled off over the years. Maybe we'll name some of them, but kasi a lot of them, except for Carl Tamayo, were unproven in the seniors division. A lot of them were definitely talented, but they were unproven. So I wasn't really, oh, wow. I was like, oh, okay. So he's bringing his players with him. UP is getting some talent for the future, but I didn't really know how that talent would pan. So yun lang for me. Maui.
Just an addition to that, I think not a shock factor, but more of in hindsight lang after all of those Bullpups career. It's crazy to think, diba, that they had two generational talents in Tamayo and Kiambao, diba? And Kiambao decided to go to LaSalle. I think that's props to the LaSalle management, knowing that KQ will transition from a center to becoming one of the best wing players in UAAP history. Diba? I think that's but very good Sam. I don't even remember that happened. I had to, I pulled up a quick Google right now, and apparently it did happen. Coach Gold was the coach of the NU Bulldogs for a couple of months, but decided to transfer to UP when all of the players already committed there. I think maybe it happened simultaneously. Diba? Maybe NU didn't want to accept the resignation of Coach Gold first, but I think that was all in the works. They were all gonna go there because Coach Gold was also gonna go there, and I guess the rest is history for UP, diba? It's the end goal. They finally won multiple championships because of it.
Baka
And
kailangan
multiple
na
finals
ng-
appearances.
Baka kailangan na ng residency rule pa sa coaches. Kasi nangyari kay Coach Go. Okay, so
Okay, let's talk about honorable mentions.
yeah, I go talk about so I'll go first. I didn't have the NU Bulldogs and Coach Gold going to UP, but I did have another player going to UP that really shocked me, and you alluded to it earlier, Maui. It was CJ Cancino going to UP, or you can also make it Mark Nonoy going to Salle, because that whole situation was so shocking. I cannot believe the situation.
Sama mo na si Alden Ayo, 'di ba? Na biglang nawala.
Yeah, but he didn't transfer anywhere, Sam. But the transfers of Mark Noy and TJ Casino going to UP and going to the Salle was for me pretty shocking, because I could not believe the situation that UT Alden Ayo had put themselves in, and why the whistleblower was the star player and team captain CJ Cancino. that he was pissed about the food that was being served in their illegal bubble.
Yeah, this was during the pandemic. So lahat ng tao talagang walang magawa. Sinusubaybayan lang yung mga bali-balita.
So
Kaya ata dumami followers ni Cancino because of this event.
Yeah, a lot of people begin to know, sino si CJ Cancino? Uy, pogi mo na si CJ Cancino. And then, about all the news and the statements yung he put, it was shocking on a lot of different levels. One, they were having a bubble illegally in Alden Ayo's hometown, I think home, yung in Sorsogon. And in my head, what are you training for? You have no tournament. What are you training for? Why are you making law to train for nothing? And second, how bad was the cooking? How bad was the cooking that CK got pissed off and left? The team captain, he was the team captain of the UAAP Ground Tigers, and that eventually turned into a recruiting war. I remember si Dave Ildefonso was trying to recruit si to Ateneo.
And Abando. They were trying to recruit Abando.
And it eventually to Renz Abando going elsewhere. He went to Letran. It eventually led to mantling and the destruction of the UST basketball program, and they suffered how many terrible seasons because of it. I think 3 terrible seasons yung after the UAAP resumed basketball play. So yeah, this to me was hella shocking, because what? You're breaking law to play basketball, and there's not even a UAAP tournament in sight or in the works, and you're having an illegal bubble. COVID's still pretty much at its peak. Vaccines were only not that widespread. They were still making it. They were still testing it out. Alden Ayo and the UST Growling Tigers. I don't know if the UST admin was even informed of this. I do remember they weren't, but it was an Alden Ayo led thing to break the law in his hometown, and That to me is just insanely crazy. All the circumstances around those transfers from Cancino and Nonoy was just baliw. Baliw yun. Hindi ako makapaniwala na everyone's at home and they're training for nothing. It's also gone. Sabi, Maui.
Kaya it led then to the destruction, 'di ba, of a very good basketball program. I think grabe yung magnitude talaga nun. Not just, well, actually you mentioned it, even sila Abando transferred out, even everyone basically transferred out. I don't even remember who stayed. 'Di ba? They also had the best FSA during that time, 'di ba, si Chavio, who was the MVP of the previous season. And they also went to the finals. And coincidentally, Cancino becoming a very crucial player for UP's chances to get that championship, 'di ba, nung season 84. Any thoughts, Sam, before I give my honorable mention?
No, I had that as one of my picks. One of the most interesting UAAP stories during the pandemic. Kasi alam naman natin, hindi tayo na-cancel yung UAAP season noon. Wala tayong mapanood na UAAP. So we were all clinging to that story about UST training in Sorsogon. Sige, Maui.
Yeah, one of the most shocking also to me, or maybe yung impactful. I keep on going back to impactful kasi I think that adds to the shock factor. Jerry Pingoy transferring to Ateneo from FEU, 'di ba? I think yung galit ni
That's a good one.
Yung galit ni Anton Montinola, 'di ba? After that transfer, I think FEU was really blindsided by that move, and it led to them deciding to not grant the transfer of Pingoy, leading to Pingoy having to sit out 2 full seasons before he could suit up with Ateneo, and eventually leading the UAAP to revamping. Not the UAAP, leading to si Pia Cayetano making a law to prevent this from happening to future college stars, not just in basketball, diba? I think that's the impact of that move is still being felt by some of those players, diba? Si Pingoy couldn't carve out a good professional career despite being one of the most highly touted high school recruits. Players like Soc Rivera being featured in MMF ba yun? Yung maalaala mo kaya na episode?
Maalaala mo kaya?
I think he was featured, di ba? If I'm not mistaken.
Meron siya?
Yes, I think Soc Rivera was featured because of that rule. But that was one of the things that gave me goosebumps when they introduced the new rule of UAAP this season. Diba? It gave me flashbacks to that Jerry Pingoy debacle that Ateneo had to go through. But I would say that was shocking just because of the shocking mostly to FEU fans. Diba? Kasi grabe yung galit. I can't forget, grabe yung galit ni Sir Anton Montinola when that all happened, di ba? Kasi that's one of the few times that they lost their key point guard. FU is known for keeping its top tier guard talent.
I love that pick. Yeah, I love that. Sorry, Gab. Just a short I love that pick kasi, diba, that was called the Jerry Pingoy rule. That was how impactful that rule was, how impactful that transfer was. Na there was a rule created for Jerry Pingoy, eventually was abolished. And you have to remember, grabe din yung hype kay Jerry Pingoy nung time na yun, nung high school. Parang next best point guard of the future na to ng Pilipinas. Meron yung mga YouTube highlights noon na kino-crossover niya mga Americans or like foreigners in like foreign leagues. Tas sobrang galing. Everybody was hyped for this guy. That 2-year break, I feel like sort of ruined yung career niya, or at least yung trajectory niya. It stunted his growth and development. It's sad for him. I'm sad for him. But, well, the rule is back. So, medyo may pa rin. May bagong rule.
May amendment to the rule na.
Oh, so, that's crazy. That's crazy. Gab?
I agree with Maui, especially on the impact part. The Philippine government got involved. We we had to spend sessions in Congress to address this. So yes, I agree. The impact of this transfer was huge. I mean, a senator got involved. They had to go through the process of creating a law, and that takes a long time just to address the thing that's happened to one player. Not just one player, but because of one player in the UAP. I definitely agree with that. Sammy, what's your honorable mention?
Dahil na-mention ni Maui si Jerry Pingoy, I'm going with Coach Tab joining Ateneo for the first time and then just kicking out the six best players of the team. So Jerry Pingoy was involved there, transferred to Adamson, Hubert Cani, the next big point guard recruit of Ateneo from FEU, also going back to FEU, Arvin Tolentino, the guy who
From NUC,
from NU to going to FEU, Arvin Tolentino, the guy who was recruited supposedly by Duke. Diba? Yung mga bali-balita, he was being recruited by Div 1 schools. Duke and Rhode Island, joined Ateneo, got kicked out, joined FEU. CJ Perez, well, he didn't move to a UAAP team, but he was supposed to be the replacement of Kiefer Ravena, did not even get to play for Ateneo. Grabe yung shock value nun. Because we were excited yung mga Ateneans obviously, we're excited to see Coach Tab join Ateneo. Yun na yung mga rumblings. He was the Gilas coach back then. Sikat na sikat siya. Finally, he joins and then the first thing he does, my 5 best players, kick them out. So, grabe yung shock value sa akin. And they competed. They made it to the finals during that season. So, that also surprised me, yung impact niya, diba? And that started the Tab Baldwin era, the B-Bob era. Ateneo boys,
I'm
what do
wondering
you think?
I'm wondering if it's really a Coach Tab thing to kick out those rotational guys, those top tier recruits.
That's true. That's a good question.
Was that Ateneo decision? I mean, I don't know. I have not gotten
Hindi natin alam.
Maui pa. Yung baka alam mo, pero maybe Coach Tab had something to do with it, but we still don't know if it was really a Coach Tab led.
That's true. That's a good point.
The school putting its foot down and saying,
right,
we're not tolerating bad grades anymore. Right? Because
I think yung timing
Ayun. I was gonna say tama ka, Maui, yung timing. It was not a good start to the Coach Tab era, di ba? Parang pagpasok niya biglang natanggal yung players, parang ganun.
I think di lang yung timing number of players involved, di ba? You usually hear 1 or 2 players will not be able to suit up because of grades, but when you get half of your team, I think 7 players in total, if I'm not mistaken, when you get half of your team out of I think they did make the Final Four ba nung year na yun, and then you're losing 7 players. Diba? I think from good news with Coach Tab to very bad news, I think nobody expected that team to really compete that year.
I think they made the Final Four, Maui, but they lost as the number 1 seed.
That could have been the year that NU won. That might be the year that NU won. I'm confused, but
maybe
Newsome. But they were losing the top players also, the star players from that team.
Yeah.
Newsome and Kiefer.
Von Pesumal and Kiefer and Newsome all graduated. Then the ones who were left were supposedly the next stars were sina Pingoy, Tolentino, CJ Perez, Hubert Cani, si Kemar Carino, who was in Team B but was supposedly one of the next
Carino.
Duliges. Clint Duliges, who ended up being a star in San Beda. Diba?
Apasible ba? I think Apasible is also one of the guys.
I think John Apasible was also part of that. If I remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good pick, Sam. Very good pick. Grabe yung as an Ateneo fan, I think the shock value was so much, di ba? Losing in the finals, losing your top. So basically, they lost their top players. Then we lose 7 rotational and potential future pieces. I don't think anybody expected Ateneo to pick up the pieces and make the finals that year. That's how big of an impact that was. Eventually, di ba? It led to Ateneo really trusting the process with Coach Stab, di ba? It's why we always say in Coach Stab we trust.
Doon nag-umpisa yun eh, no? So, I guess that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have your picks for the most shocking transfers in the UAAP, comment them down below. Share with your friends. We'll talk more UAAP news in the upcoming week. Sana meron. If there's another big NBA trade, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll talk more about it. Baka si Giannis or si Jokic na biglang matrade. Hindi na natin alam kasi apparently no one is untouchable. So, we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Ingat.